Do you ever look back on the choices that you've made and wonder if you've chosen correctly? Do you ever imagine how life would be different if you had chosen a different university, studied a different subject, or maybe taken a different job? Do you imagine what life would be like if that relationship would have lasted, if you had tried a little harder, or if you had moved to a new city? When you look back on these things, how does it make you feel? Are you happy? Or have you just created the illusion of happiness? Are you satisfied and successful? Or do you look back at these things with regret? But most importantly, did you make the choice for yourself or for someone else? There have been many decisions that I've faced over the last 10 years that have drastically altered the course of my life. I chose to go to university instead of go to the military. It was a tough choice, but at the time, it was the best option for me. Knowing what I know now about American universities, I may have chose differently. But I did the best I could with the tools I had at the time. But just to be clear, I wouldn't go back and choose the military option. I chose to study mathematics, and then I moved to Europe after graduation. These were two things that I decided to do on my own, despite the input from people around me. And because I decided them for myself, it seems that they've been very beneficial to me. Most recently, I've been faced with another big decision. I've come to a fork in the road where I had to make a choice between two very different life paths. Both of them had very good outcomes. Both of them had lots of potential. But I just froze. Often, when we don't know what to do, we go to others for advice. Funny how we ask everyone else what we should be doing with our life when they don't even know what they should be doing with their life. Maybe the reason you have a hard time trusting yourself is because you feel that some outside authority knows better than you. Unfortunately, this is something that we're taught, but generally unaware of. As teens, we're treated like children, but expected to act like adults. Everyone makes decisions for you. And then, one day, that suddenly changes. Now you're 18, and everyone expects you to decide what you want to do for the next 50 years. How can someone with so little life experience make such a big decision? So we seek answers from the outside. We are taught to seek answers from someone else. Because of this cultural conditioning, I, as well as others, struggle with indecisiveness. I'm afraid to make the wrong choice for fear of what other people might think. That's crazy, I know, but I'm not the only one. This is a quality that has often got me into lots of trouble. I'll go to a party and stay too long, or I'll go to a restaurant and eat something I'm not supposed to, and then I'll regret it. I did these things because everyone else wanted me to, even though my intuition was telling me, yeah, you shouldn't have eaten that because now you feel sick. Or, yeah, you should have left earlier because everyone knows nothing good happens past 2 a.m. Correction, nothing good happens past midnight. I think Cinderella was onto something. My indecisiveness translates into every area of my life. I have trouble deciding which color shoes to buy. Black, of course. Or where to go for dinner. Cook at home, obviously. And worse, do I really want to rent this apartment? Well, does it have a nice kitchen or balcony? So if I struggle with these simple things, imagine how much trouble I must have trying to make a big life-altering decision. A piece of advice I got once was, decision-making is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger you get. I've added a bit of my own to this as well, in that make decisions for yourself, by yourself. This way you'll learn to trust yourself and in turn make better decisions. Another friend of mine said, you should always go with your first choice. It's what your gut instinctively chose. You can see how this plays out when a bunch of girls get ready. They all put on an outfit, and then they meet up with each other, and then they feel like they have to change clothes like 5 or 6 times. And then they end up leaving in the outfit they chose first. Like a very basic example, but you can see how trusting your instincts can be used in even simple decisions. It's all about trusting your gut. Marcus Allman said, your gut knows things. It knows more than the underpaid teachers in the outdated school system. Your gut knows more than your parents who brought you up the best they could. Your gut knows more than the government or the garbage on YouTube. Your gut knows more than what's written in books or preached in churches. Your gut knows who you are and where you're supposed to be. And yet, when I was faced with this big life choice, I ran to everyone else, looking for advice, looking for their opinions. I asked everyone, what do you think I should do? And the best advice I got was, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I want you to figure it out for yourself. When you're struggling to make a decision, you can imagine both scenarios in your head. Play them out. What's going to bring you the most joy? Look at the signs around you. They're clues as to what you're supposed to be doing. Be careful talking to too many people. Too many opinions are going to fill your head, and you'll lose your own voice. Then you risk making a decision for someone else instead of yourself. You can make a pros and cons list, but ultimately, what might be the right choice may not be the one that looks best on paper. I know mine wasn't. In the end, I chose myself. I chose to do what was best for me right now. What may have been right a year ago wasn't necessarily right anymore. I'm a strong believer that for things that are meant to be, everything will go smoothly. So whether you're trying to decide where to go for dinner or something a little more life-altering, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I want you to figure it out.